in my mind relates to a house move some 30 years ago when, due to my husband's transfer by the Forestry Commission, we had to move all our worldly goods, not to mention 3 young children, from a village at the head of Loch Long in Argyllshire to Cranant in South Wales. Preparation for any journey is of course essential, and I thought I had all aspects covered, including special food for the 1-year-old twins and plenty of amusement for them and their 3-year-old sister. Besides these normal items for any journey, we had to take with us the children's cots and sun loungers for ourselves, as the removers were not expecting to offload our furniture until a few days after our arrival in Wales due to a bank holiday. This necessitated the towing of a trailer, which obviously slowed us down somewhat. The first problem arose when the removal men decided that they couldn't possibly pack everything in one day and deserted us early to get back to Glasgow for finishing time and come back next day. Tempers were a little frayed, to say the least, when I had to unpack some kitchen items and food and make up the beds and cots, the cots having been dismantled and loaded in the trailer. We eventually set off the following day, travelling down Loch Lomond side, which may seem very romantic, but travelling along the old road in the gloom with 3 very unsettled children insisting that they needed their potty is not my idea of romance. It did remind me of a previous same journey in an ambulance, which ended in the delivery of 10-week premature undiagnosed twins. Another memorable journey turned good. The Loch Lomond road is a doddle now, but I believe there have been more accidents through speeding since its improvement. A decision was made that it would be wise to stay somewhere for the night, and we found a travel lodge on the M6 with 2 rooms to spare, which unfortunately were not next to each other, so we separated with 1 adult in each room. Breakfast is a blur, but I guess must have been taken pretty early. We were on our way again with much squabbling between the children, who had to be sorted out at the next service station. As I recall, there were no regulations about safety seating for children in 1984, the only regulation being that front seat passengers had to be belted up. I dread to think what modern-day parents would make of the safety or otherwise of our infants on that journey. I doubt we would have fitted into our car then if we had to abide by today's regulations, and the expense of the equipment would have been beyond our means. The actual motorway driving was not as problematic as in today's conditions, but concentration was difficult with the children always in need of attention. David was in charge of driving while I was to keep the children occupied. They were a little too young for I Spy or the like, but lots of singing was required until my repertoire ran out and my throat dry. We were supposed to reach the estate agent's office before closing time to pick up the keys to our new abode, which we had visited only once before buying. This put added pressure on the driver, as it was a bank holiday and we would be left high and dry if we didn't make it in time. It was dark when we arrived, but one of the reasons for the choice of this house was that it had Venetian blinds, which were all included in the sale. If only we could find the light switches, we would be laughing. Eventually, all the children were in bed, and we took a glass of wine each to our own collapsible sun lounger beds, where I found to my cost that my bed was indeed collapsible.